When you start to realize that there's no limits to life, you start to feel that they're quite powerful. And I found for myself that once I went over that barrier of knowing that you can go really, really fast and you can get really, really strong and really, really do anything, life starts to seem very easy. Okay, I need to preface that at the start of it, there was a struggle of the unknown, where you don't know what you don't know because you just never come across it before. And I guess you need to go and keep wandering the world, keep exploring, and then you will stumble upon something new. And that comes with a lot of curiosity to go out and go and find these. I mean, you don't really find them. They come to you because you just so happen to be treading water, and then you somehow just end up in this deep end. But this deep end has a lot of corals inside, and you're like, whoa, there is so much to do here. It is so beautiful here. So the topic that we're talking about today is just realizing the potential of how far can you go. And the reason why I want to talk about this today is hopefully someone out there would realize that there is such a big world out there, and it's not just in our heads. Because I used to live in my head thinking that I was the best. That's very egoistic of me. That's very, naive of me to think that I was the best. And the reason why I thought I was the best was because I live very passively, or I used to live very passively in the world, just watching things online, watching things on the internet, and thinking that, because I already seen this post, therefore I know much and I know more than whoever has not seen this post before. But reading from books is only one part of the equation. Then you have the experience, which really comes from the bulk of it, because when you start to make mistakes, then that's when you learn. And this has helped me to realize that I cannot be stuck at one area in life. I need to constantly be moving, because the more I move, the more I find, the more empowered I get. Because when you start to be in places where people are doing whatever professionally and to a certain level which the regular person does not believe that they are able to accomplish, then life really opens up for you. And I always talked about how I take life in ranges, meaning to say that there's the high range. For example, you see those ultra marathon runners who can run for 7 days straight, marathon every single day. And there are such things like this. I recently saw a video on this race where I think it's about 200 over kilometers in Mongolia, and then they're running through different types of terrain. And there's this small group of elite people where they will start at point A, then they will run to the next checkpoint, which is about a marathon away. They will sleep overnight, they'll wake up in the morning, and then they will run over a mountain, which is like 80 kilometers. And then after that, they'll sleep, they'll wake up, and then they'll go for probably two marathons worth, so it gets even more progressively over time. And then probably the last day was like 12 km or something like that, but it's like down a ridge and that kind of thing. And then they end up at this town. But looking at that and knowing where I came from before and my surroundings, where I've talked about this before, 2.4 km used to be the limit, the maximum of what I knew what running was. 2.4 km is the standard of fitness that people will associate fitness in Singapore, because that's the national service requirements: push-ups, sit-ups, and run. And I could not run 2.4 km. Now I can run a half marathon. Now I'm training for a marathon. And I find that life is so much different. I used to be dying, panting, even at the first sight of just getting up. That was how big I was. That was how bad my VO2 max was. And now realizing that I can finally get into runner's high and just dream while I'm running. Okay, that's a bad thing to say because, okay, you have to be safe and don't run on the road while you're getting runner's high because that is dangerous. Go and run on the pavement where there's no one. That's where normally I run. I need to preface this because if a new runner would say like, all right, I'm gonna run 5 km today and I'm gonna run on the road, and the road is a busy road, something like Vietnam, it's like, bro, you have to see your circumstances fit. I just want to put that out there. But anyway, 2.4 km is not hard anymore for me. To get the timing for 2.4 km, for me to get a gold, silver, it's still a work in progress, but I know I'm getting closer to something else. And coming back to what we're talking about in ranges, I did not discover ultra running beforehand. Prior to this whole running thing, I only started knowing about ultra running now as you're listening to this. Probably a few weeks back then I researched on ultra running, and the reason because I wanted to draw a heart in Singapore using the GPS. I want to walk another 100 km again, but because it was a side quest, I told myself that if I do not reach, if I feel tired, I'm gonna just stop. I'm not gonna complete everything. I would just go to a km that I am good, I feel tired, because I want to reset my sleep schedule. That's why I want to do that, and I want to break out of the mold of life that was happening, my routine, which is just wake up, film things, edit things, get on with life kind of thing. So I really wanted to, again, be more human. A lot of times all these ultra marathon runners will always talk about, well, why is the reason why you want to go do these kind of crazy adventures? It's like, well, we want to become more human to test the capabilities of what humans can do. And apparently there is no limit to it. You can just keep training and you can just keep running, or you can just keep getting stronger and life will bring you somewhere, which is just really crazy to think about. But yeah, coming back to the hike, I did the hike. I did about 45 km just walking, and I said, okay, that's enough. Then I went home. And yeah, prior to that, I was just hyping myself up, watching what the ultra marathon runners do. And I was thinking, how fast could they do 24 hours? And like, how far could they do? Then this is where I found out about ULT Mont Blanc, where they will race through France and Italy, through the ridges. Through the mountains and everything. So it's like a circle type of course, but they're going up a few mountains, which is crazy because it's 170 kilometers and they're running over 2 days. And I can't do that. But just know, if they can run that, I can walk far, because I'm not really stomping my legs compared to what they are doing, and they are running on mountains, elevation, and I'm just walking flats. So I thought that, okay, if they can do that, I can just do my walking. And that really hyped me up. But that also opened me up to knowing that people like that exist. The people around me right now don't exist like that, because everyone thinks that, 2.4 is the maximum and we can't go more than that. Even the people who are around me who run, their maximum is like a marathon. And the way that they train for marathons is, all right, I'm going to get in a quick 10 km easy run today, and then I'm going to go as fast as possible. My pace, 4 per km. It's like, that's pretty fast. Then what's next? Well, I'm going to go pace 3 per km. They just keep doing that. They just stick around doing the same thing. And the reason is they have not exposed themselves to what possibilities that they can go to. It's always the self-doubt that is holding them back. Think that, all right, marathon is the hardest thing in my life, but I'm looking at ultra marathon running. I will never reach that. I will never be able to do that. No, don't say that. You will if you put your mind to it. You will if you hang around with these people, because when you start hanging around these people who what we perceive as elite just had more time and experience in the field of doing whatever. They have spent their deliberate practice time doing that thing. So you think ultra marathon running is, they're training compared to someone who is doing a 2.4, probably you're running your base zone to 2 days a week, and then you do like intervals 1 day a week, and then you do probably hill sprints. So 4 days of running just to reach that, not just cadence, what was volume, and then you'll be able to run the 2.4, that kind of thing. But ultra marathon running is like, all right, I'm gonna drop a marathon today on Monday, and then I'm gonna drop a marathon on Tuesday too. I'm gonna rest up on Wednesday, then I'm gonna drop a interval on Thursday, and then on Sunday probably I'm going to do a long run which comprises of like 80 kilometers. But these people recover fast, so their body is already adapted to this kind of thing. And then don't take it from me, I'm just disseminating the information that I've seen online. I have not reached that stage yet, but I understand that these people exist. That means I am able to do this too, because if someone can do that, I can do that too. And this reminds me of the story of how I started filmmaking, which I always repeat because it's such a big impact in my life. The way I started that was because I was watching the old school YouTubers back in the day in 2006. No, I was 12 at 2008. So 13 years old, 2009. Those early YouTubers back in the day. So these people were making home videos, and I saw that and I thought to myself, if they can do that, I can do that too. Took my Nokia phone, strapped it to a stick, and then made my first video. And then from there, it became a whole journey of discovering you can make better videos because people like filmmakers exist. And then I became one later on in the future. So that was my whole journey. And yeah, that is literally how you start to realize things the more you stick at it and the more you hang around in that zone. So I guess the big takeaway of today's topic is that a lot of people are limiting themselves to what they know based off what people tell them within their circle, who are limiting their experiences in life. When you start to go out there and wander for yourself and you start to be inspired by people, sorry, let me sneeze. Be inspired people who are doing things way, far beyond what we can do, then you start to realize what the range is that we are capable of. We might not be able to run an ultra marathon simply because probably we're hanging around doing business. Not to say you cannot run an ultra marathon. What I'm trying to say is that we are spending our time doing something else. We want to raise 5 kids. We want to build this business. We want to do this YouTube channel, which has to do with cooking. So I'm learning recipes. So if I'm in the kitchen, therefore I don't have time to go and run and become this ultra marathon. There's only certain amount of time, limited time that we have in life. So we have to choose which we want to do. But we can do one thing now and we can do something else later. I'm yapping too much, but you get the point. Just know that a lot of people will start clipping our wings because they have never tried it before. And even if they see someone else doing it at a very high level, they just think that they cannot achieve it. It takes time and effort. That's all it takes, time and effort that you have to put inside. So I'm going to just close here, and hopefully this really speaks to someone to know that if you are staying within your own circle and thinking that you know best and you know that this is the limit of what you know, then you could be wrong. We could be wrong. We all could be wrong, because the unknown is unknown until we go and search and wander and discover to realize that there's a higher ceiling than the sky. And I really encourage everyone to go out, to go and experiment with life even more, getting outside your comfort zone. Same usual things I normally say, because when you start to feel that there's no limit to what you can do, you feel empowered, you feel that you can live more, you feel that you are raising the standards, the floor of which you stand, and life suddenly starts to get even easier than what it is right now. Because you're starting to feel that 2.4 ain't nothing. Now I can run a marathon. Doesn't mean that I need to run a marathon, but just know I can if I wanted to. So that's all I have to say for today. Hopefully you're feeling very good. We're getting started with the month. We're going into the next month soon. And we're going to start ramping up all these videos because I have been filming a lot of vlogs which are going to be coming out in April. So watch out for that. Not on this channel, but I will tell you guys soon. That's all I have to say for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, goodbye.